Our top story this half hour, paying for the wall along the Mexico border. Reports say that the president-elect is planning to ask Congress to pay for it. That means the American taxpayers, a sharp contrast from his campaign promises. But Trump just addressed the reports, tweeting this: "The dishonest media does not report that any money spent on building the Great Wall for sake of speed will be paid back by Mexico later." See the timestamp on that? This morning, 6:19 a.m. Let's bring in Ambassador John Bolton, former U.S. Ambassador to the United Nations and a Fox News contributor. Ambassador, always terrific to see you.
Good morning.
What do you make of this back and forth that we're seeing?
Well, I think from the perspective of U.S. national security, we need to increase our ability to keep out undesirable people who intend to do us harm. And the fastest way to do that, which is I think is what the President-elect Trump suggests, is that we go ahead and construct these further defenses along the border, and then he'll talk to Mexico about paying for it later. So I don't know what the plan is to get Mexico to pay for it, but I think this priority of securing the border is a very high one, and we should not delay.
Where would you put it on a list of top priorities in terms of our national security, building that border wall?
Well, I think it's important to stop a whole range of threats that are coming across the border, and I think much of this has been contemplated already in the budget. I think there are a lot of other competing priorities, like rebuilding the military as well, and I think what we need to confront, honestly, is that a lot of domestic spending programs need to be cut fairly dramatically.
Ambassador, it's Mike Murphy. So really what we're talking about right now is building this wall, regardless who's paying for it initially, is building this wall to keep people we don't want, illegal immigrants, from coming into America. I don't see what the major problem is. I think that this is something we should do. We want to keep bad people out, keep good people in. Why do you think aside from the who's going to pay for the wall, isn't this better? I mean, there's a wall there currently in certain spots. Isn't this wall for the benefit of all American people?
Right. I think the issue has been the notion that somehow a tighter border security has to be combined legislatively or politically with how you handle the illegal aliens who are already here. Look, this is a formula that goes back to 1986 when Ronald Reagan signed an immigration reform bill. It's a formula that's failed. It's a formula that's failed. So I think the priority is securing the borders, and we'll worry about the illegals who are here subsequently. I think Trump's doing it the right way.
Ambassador, moving on to this story, there are reports that President Obama plans to transfer at least 22 of the 59 detainees who remain at Guantanamo Bay and have vowed to behead Americans. Ambassador Bolton, why is he so fixated on this with President Trump just 2 weeks away from his own inauguration?
Well, I think it's outrageous. I mean, I think it's been clear for the last 8 years that the only people left in Guantanamo when Obama took office were the worst of the worst. So as far as I'm concerned, I'm not sure I would have released any of them over the past 8 years, but particularly now. We have 2 weeks to go until Inauguration Day. 2 weeks. And to send these 22 out, or any of the rest of them, frankly, I just think is disgraceful. I think this is purely ideological. It represents one of the biggest failures of the Obama administration. He said on the day after his inauguration in 2009 he'd close it within a year. That isn't going to happen. I think, if anything, we should be looking in the next 4 years to increase the population at Gitmo, including picking up a lot of the people we released.
But this is purely political. He's trying to make good on a campaign promise when we know from government officials and reports that these individuals who've been released from Guantanamo have gone on to kill Americans.
Look, people, as I say, people should be outraged by this. The recidivism rate that's reported, 30%, I think is understated, because a lot of the people who've been released, we just can't find. Maybe they're weaving baskets in some village somewhere, or maybe they're back on the battlefield as well. It deserves a lot more attention than it's getting.
Ambassador, this is Kevin Kelly. You've met with Donald Trump after he was elected. Now, did you have any discussions with him about Guantanamo Bay and increasing the population there and using it as a way to help defend our national security?
I don't think we talked about Gitmo. I don't recall it, but look, I think as long as the base the base will still be there unless he gives it back to Cuba frankly, which I've worried about, and he does still have 2 weeks to go. So that means the prison facility for the terrorists will still be there as well, and there's still a lot of terrorists out there who deserve to be interrogated. It's a great place to take them.
Ambassador, it's great to see you, as always. Thank you so much.
Glad to be with you.
We love seeing you each and every day. Ambassador John Bolton.